Second, and discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Okay, this brings us to our first public comment portion. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone wishing to address the board? Very good, thank you. Moving on. Madam Clerk, first agenda item, please.
In special resolutions, resolution recognizing the week of May 12th to the 18th, 2022 as National Police Week in Lake County.
Move to approve.
Second, discussion.
Mr. President,
Sir.
National Police Week is a time designated to remember all police, but especially those who've lost their life in the line of duty. It's very important for all of us, Lake County in particular, to make this recognition. We're grateful that our sheriff is here and he represents all the law enforcement agencies in Lake County who have made so many sacrifices to keep us safe. This is a daily sacrifice by every police officer, every deputy, every member of law enforcement who put their lives on the line, something that you yourself have done in the past. You never know when you go out that door if you're coming back, and today we recognize that great sacrifice and contribution to our community's safety.
Well said, thank you. All right, with that, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Very good. So, do you want to... Okay, Sheriff, would you mind receiving the recognition?
Yes, I would.
Then come right on up. We are here to annoy.
Good to meet you.
Hey.
I got it all dressed up. I can get my stomach.
Oh, nice.
Suck it in.
That's right. Suck it in. Open eyes, smiles. There we go. Okay, thank you.
I'll be
Yeah, hold on. This is the
You
official.
knew what was happening when I cornered you in the elevator. Thank you, sirs.
This side's a little better.
Oh, no problem.
Hey,
I got the telephotos out of the car.
They can only do so much with Bohol.
Thank you.
as you said, if I could mention it, I accept it not only for the sheriff's office, but for all police in Lake County. And obviously, I'm proud of everybody who works at the sheriff's office, but I'm proud of everybody that works at all the law enforcement agencies throughout Lake County. They do an exceptional job. We have great police chiefs who are leading those organizations and great individuals. You don't hear a lot of complaints from our citizens because we, as law enforcement, are very appreciative of our community and their support. And so thank you on their behalf.
Thank you, sir. Well said. Okay. Next item, please.
In the Engineer's Office, resolution authorizing an agreement between the Lake County Commissioners and Paynesville Township to assist Paynesville Township through the Lake County Engineer's Office in their Bohol Road Sidewalk project.
Move to approve.
Second, and discussion. Engineer Gillis.
Yeah, this is a project that the Paynesville Township trustees came to the office to help get some assistance with. They received a grant of $250,000 to do this sidewalk project through the governor's whatever it is. And so we are in assistance now. The commissioners do not do sidewalks. As a result, when a township wants a sidewalk on one of the roads, they are required to sign an agreement with the commissioners accepting full responsibility and maintenance for said sidewalk. And so this is an agreement which we've signed a number of times with Paynesville Township for that work.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
In the Utilities Department, resolution approving final estimate number 4, release of retainage in the amount of $5,640 with JS Bova Excavating LLC and accepting a 3-year maintenance bond in the amount of $13,941.50 for Cell C4 Expansion Phase 6 Part C North Force Main Reconstruction Project 421L for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second, discussion. Randy, do you want to give a little background on that?
Sure. We've been talking about our expansion out the landfill for a couple of years now. We just opened bids for some of the earthwork this week. This project was just completed. There's a lot of work that had to be done prior to the earthwork being done. This was relocating a force main that went through the property. We also relocated some electrical lines at another project. So this is just one of those parts of the entire expansion project.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President,
Sir.
on a related note, I have received some concerns with respect to the landfill, and I share them in the good faith that we're always trying to do better as we serve our customers. There was some concern from some contractors who had attempted to, as they've dumped things off, they've noticed that people had things that they wanted as well, almost like a swap meet. And so some of them were grabbing, this item or that item as they're unloading. I recognize that there are liability and safety issues, and those have to take precedence. But I would just say, even when the answer has to be a hard no, if we can try to be as understanding as possible and explain the reasons why it has to be a hard no, because I know there's some misunderstanding there. And once again, this is not a critique of anyone, but it can be difficult when you see a beautiful rubber tree or a coffee table that you really, really want, and it's about to be crunched by a bulldozer, to leave that there. I may or may not have picked some things up off the sidewalk. So I understand the desire to save a treasure, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention because I have gotten some calls in recent days about this issue, and I just wanted to make sure that we explain why the answer is no if it has to be. And if we can save something, that would be wonderful too. Noted.
Dumpster diving without the dumpster, and you have to weigh your vehicle on the way out, so you're actually paying less, or if you ballast down.
Sounds like you've done this before.
Well, that's what we have barns for. All right, back to the point here of this force main. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution approving plan specifications and estimates of cost in the amount of $1,007,732 for Division Bank Atwater Waterline Replacement Project number 446W and advertising for bids for the same, bid opening June 15, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second. Discussion. Randy, do you want to add to that?
Sure. Thank you, Commissioner. This project has a little bit of everything. It's a water line replacement in Madison Township. On those said streets, it's been part of our capital improvement plan for a couple of years. We were able to get OPWC grants on this project and also the Ohio Department of Development grants that the state put out last year. I think the same one that funded the sidewalks is part of this project. We're also partnering with Madison Township to repave the roads after the project is complete. So this project has a little bit of everything. We're looking forward to getting this done as part of our capital improvement plan.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Further discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution awarding a bid contract to Ward's Lawn Care and Landscape Company for lawn care maintenance for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second. Discussion. Again, Randy, if you want to elaborate just a skosh.
Sure. This is an annual contract that we bid out for. We've got several dozen sites throughout the county, whether they're pump stations in the water side or water tanks or lift stations on the sewer side that are typically very small parcels that need attention as far as landscaping and cutting the grass and that sort of thing. So we put this out every year, and Ward's has done a nice job for us in the past. We look forward to this year's contract.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution awarding a bid contract in the amount of $1,677,411 to Fabrizi Trucking and Paving Company for Vine Street Waterline Replacement Phase 1, Project 430W.
Move to approve.
Second. And discussion. Again, Randy.
Again, this is part of our capital improvement plan. We know that there's been some discussion on improving Vine Street in the next several years, and we're trying to get out in front of that and make sure we have a new water line so we don't end up breaking up a new road sometime in the future. So,
Agreed. Good use of the taxpayers' dollars. Further discussion? Thank you all. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution reappointing Donna P. McNamee to the Lake Tran Board of Trustees for a 3-year term expiring May 15, 2025.
Move to approve.
Second. Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution reappointing Gary L. Swanson to the Lake Tran Board of Trustees for a 3-year term expiring May 15, 2025.
Move to approve.
Second. Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution appointing Laura Piesmont to the Lake Tran Board of Trustees for a 3-year term expiring May 15, 2025.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next agenda item, please.
Resolution appointing Kim Stanger to the Lake Tran Board of Trustees for a 3-year term expiring May 15, 2025.
Move to approve. Madam Clerk, next agenda item, please.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $1,223,309.38.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $395,116.66.
Move to approve.
Second. Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations for various non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second. Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution transferring appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second. Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Okay, I believe this brings us to our departmental reports portion of our meeting. Utilities. Randy.
thank you, Commissioner. In the past, the Lake County Solid Waste District has hosted individual recycling drop-off days for various things like appliances and electronics and televisions and tires. We're changing that model a little bit this year. Instead of having a couple of individual days, we're actually going to open the landfill up starting June 6th through August 31st. You can drop off any of those items anytime that we're open. That would be from 7 o'clock in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon on the weekdays, and Saturdays from 9 to 1 o'clock, 9 in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Residents can drop off appliances, electronics, computer-related devices, televisions, or tires anytime during those hours. There are some things that have fees. We can check that on the website. The highest fee would be $15 for large tractor and agricultural tires. Most of the things are no cost. We are also hosting we're continuing to host our household hazardous waste events, 2 of those. That's kind of a special collection that we're not really, we have a contractor that comes in and handles the hazardous waste. So those 2 dates are June 11th and September 24th of this year from 8 a.m. to 2 o'clock at the fairgrounds, Lake County Fairgrounds.
And is it fair to say that the program that's now being extended, it just outgrew the fairgrounds? It just became so popular, it just outgrew it?
It did, yes. It became very popular. This is going to give everybody, instead of having to hold things for a Saturday, to just 1 or 2 days during the summer, really any time that they can go out and do that drop-off. We do have a normal recycling bin out there also for other household recyclable items like aluminum cans and paper and cardboard and that sort of thing. So they can do it all in one stop.
I give you credit for you and your team for adapting to the needs of our community, and a very well-received program. Thank you. Commissioner Plechnik, anything you want to add, sir?
I continue to be impressed with the Department of Utilities. They go above and beyond in their work. And while sometimes we have a bump or two in the road, we always find a way to smooth it out.
Very good, thank you. Okay, Job and Family Services, Suzanne is at a conference, so we're going to move on to our county administrator, who is back in the house. Jason.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. It's glad to be back. That's what I did want to provide a brief update to the Commissioners. As you know, I've spent the last week and a half or so in Judge Polster's federal court downtown Cleveland, representing the Commissioners in the county in totality, actually all residents, for the abatement phase of the opioid litigation that the county successfully won in the fall along with Trumbull County. The past 6 or 7 days has been extremely interesting as our legal team presented expert witnesses on what the abatement may look like for us in Trumbull County, whereas the defense provide their own experts in medicine, statistics, and economics. The phase ended yesterday. There was not closing arguments, rather there'll be written briefs that are due to Judge Polster mid-June, and then there'll be the opportunity for the sides to issue opposing briefs, I guess would be the correct term, Professor Plechnik. And then hopefully sometime this summer we will have some sort of a decision from the Honorable Judge Polster on what potential abatement amount may look like and what eligible expenses we could put those toward in our community in Trumbull County. So I think we did a phenomenal job. I want to personally thank Judge Polster and his court for their courtesy and professionalism. Quite frankly, the past 4 years as this process has been playing itself out. And I think Commissioner Plechnik, you and I were speaking last week. I think this started about 4 or 5 years ago when Counsel Frank Gallucci from Cleveland came and presented to a previous board. So a special thanks to Frank Gallucci, our local representation, and the slew of other attorneys from throughout the country that represented the residents of Lake and Trumbull County. So I'll have more, hopefully, positive news in the coming month or two. Secondly, I'm entering the final steps of the negotiations with HOK for the programming phase of the Lake County Public Safety Center. Just for a brief update, the Commissioners passed a resolution about 3 weeks ago allowing me to negotiate and execute the agreement when it's ready, so we're really close. Just a quick background for our community is that the Commissioners went through an exhaustive review, two-step review process, interviewed the top 2 firms, so we're getting very close to executing that contract, and I've kept Sheriff Leon Bruno up to speed as well. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, and Jason, as always, I have to thank you for the effort, being forward-facing, and everything going on at this trial. You've been that air traffic controller that just kept things moving along and facilitating so much and being one of the faces that Lake County had in that courtroom. So thank you for all your efforts.
Commissioner Plechnik's trying to talk me into going to law school now, so thank you.
We can carpool, Jason.
I hear he's a good professor. So. Very good. Anything for Jason? No? Thank you. Okay, moving on to clerk. Madam Clerk.
Yes, I wanted to mention that the next regular Commissioners meeting is going to be Thursday, May 26th, here at 10 a.m.
Very good. Thank you. Legal.
No reports, Commissioner Hammercheck.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving on to old business. Do we have any old business to come before this board? Any old business? Okay, do we have any new business? New business. Do we have any new business? Okay. Moving on to our second public comment portion. Do we have anyone in the audience wishing to address the board? Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Jim, could you stay 1 second, sir? I have one question for you, yeah. On the one. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, no. Hi, John Music, 45 Coventry Drive, Paynesville Township. Real quick, on that second resolution for that sidewalk, do you being the Lake County engineer, do we get paid for that work, or do we actually get money, or how does that go? I know we're not paying for the sidewalk itself, but for the work that you do we get any?
Well, in this particular case, we're not doing a lot of work. All I'm doing is helping them hire a consultant by putting out the documents and so forth. But the ORC does allow me to get reimbursed for anything I do for the townships. However, it is my policy as part of my administration that we work with the townships at no cost, just to help them out, and be a friendly neighbor.
Okay, thank you. Just want to know, because I was at the township meeting on
John, can I
Tuesday.
go now?
You sure? Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
But hold on
Thank you.
before you go. The key also is, I think you might have heard, I have to emphasize this, the townships have to agree to maintain it.
Correct,
So
I
that
heard
makes
that.
sense.
Correct.
So
Yeah, because they talked about it,
Yeah.
yeah, they talked about it at the meeting on Tuesday that they were looking at that, so, okay, thank you. Secondly, and the most important, I want to thank our sheriff. As you know, I support law enforcement 100%, and I was hoping to be a lot of people here. We could have gave him a nice standing ovation, and I tell you, it's giving them, the men and women of our law enforcement a standing ovation every time I see them, that they deserve it. So, thank you, Sheriff. And like I said before, we got to give them the tools to do their job. And, you know, without our military and our law enforcement, we will never, ever have a country. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to address the board? Anyone else? Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Okay, I'll make that motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second? I'll look to legal. It appears we have a Mexican standoff.
I've never experienced this.
That seems to be a recurring theme in Lake County lately.
The only reason I ever wanted to be a senator, Mr. President, is I thought that the tradition of the filibuster was particularly American, both because it demonstrated a commitment to the law that required physical exhaustion to prove, that senators would debate to the point where they would collapse because they cared so deeply about the issues that they were pushing for. And that the filibuster, as well as the supermajority standard required to override it, also provided protection for tradition and law so that indeliberative changes would not be made. And this is probably the closest to a filibuster that I will ever have the opportunity to make, because I am humble enough to admit that the only senator I'll ever be is a faculty senator. But I feel very, very strongly that just as we need to support our sheriff's office, it is equally important that we support each and every agency in Lake County so that we can, as a team, come together and succeed. And I say this with respect to every person at this dais and in this room, and not a criticism of any person at this dais or in this room, but I feel strongly that in support of Lake Tran, the most qualified person that has ever applied for a board seat is assistant prosecutor, former solicitor and assistant law director, former council person, Laura Pichmo. And while I do not have the votes to make an appointment, no one commissioner can do anything, whether it be adjourn a meeting or appoint a person by themselves, such is the nature of the law. I do have one voice, and with it I speak for my colleague and for one of the greatest contributors to Lake County, both locally and from shore to shore. There is no one who has sacrificed more, no one who is more expert in the law, no one who cares more deeply about that agency. There may be many other qualified people, but there is no one as qualified or more qualified. And so I made that nomination with great sincerity, and it is hard for me to close this meeting without seeing that nomination approved. And I would make a motion to amend the agenda to bring that item to this point, and once again, approve Laura Pichmo as a 3-year trustee. I recognize that this is a great request to make to the commission, and I recognize that it cannot be done by fiat or by one person. I recognize this is an enormous request, and it's not one that I make lightly, but for the people of Lake County, I make it before the close. So I make the motion to amend the agenda to bring up the nomination one more time.
I thank you for your opining on the issue of a filibuster. I will, as you well know, since I'm suffering from a kidney stone that is causing me great personal pain, I will tap out and yield to your superior physical stamina at this moment. But this old guy is not ready to quite give up. But I do have a job to do as well. I too believe that Laura Pichmo is an exceptional person. and that she is somebody who is a tremendous asset to Lake County. And to indicate anything to the contrary of that on my part, I find, if that is the intent, offensive. But I'm sure you would never apply such a thing to me. So I will tap out, and I will, again, I believe we have a motion on the floor to adjourn this meeting. Am I correct, legal?
Well, sounds like you're not, the motion to adjourn is not going to be withdrawn. Sounds like there's a motion that Commissioner Plechnik made. Is that motion withdrawn, Commissioner
No.
Plechnik? All right. I guess, is there a second for a motion to adjourn the meeting?
With respect and hope that my request will be considered in the future, I second the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Thank you. This meeting stands adjourned. Thank you for joining us.